guys, just wanted to show you how to do this call center dashboard assignment. For this one, I'm not going to be actually creating a video to show you step by step. What I'm having you do is I'm giving you data and I'm asking you to create a dashboard. So you work for cool call center services. Companies contract with them to answer their phones and provide customer support. A large appliance store, you can imagine like Sears before they went bankrupt, has contracted with Cool to answer customer questions about their various appliances. Your job is to build a dashboard so that the call center can monitor your dashboard, or it can monitor their performance. On this page, I have I just went out and Googled call center dashboards and pulled in a few. And I wanted to give you a sense. I'm looking for something like one of these, the blue one, or something like this. Anything. Actually, I don't want to tell you what I want it to look like. I want you to build me one and tell me why you chose the measures that you did. And then I want you to build, you're going to pull in some of this data, do different charts. Okay, you can do them with pivot charts. You can do them with, they don't have to be though, like this is a table. Anyway, you can do whatever you need to. And you can also Google for others. I just put these in here for some inspiration and some ideas. But what we do need to do so that I can show you is how to insert a number of things. And if you want to follow along, I'm going to show you these over here. And so I'm going to do each of these. So the first one it says is we need to figure out or convert probably this talk duration from minutes to seconds. And in fact, so I'm going to insert here in column I. And I'm going to call it call duration in seconds. Okay, and I'll go ahead and wrap this. Okay, and really what we need to do is, you'll notice here, this says 12:02 a.m. and this says like 12:03. And really what is sitting there, if I were to convert this to a number, so if I were to format this now as a number and put a bunch of decimal places, is that this is a fraction of a 24-hour day. So this is 0.0016575 of a 24-hour day. And so really what I need to do is convert that back to a I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z and make it go back. But really what we need to do is convert it from a 24-hour day to how many seconds it is. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to say is equal to, or like I say over here, I'm going to multiply it by 24 hours in a day times 60 minutes in an hour times 60 seconds in a minute, which is going to give us how many seconds there are. So I'm just going to say it's equal to this times 24 times 60 times 60. And then what I'll do is I'll just convert that to a number. So that is so 2 minutes and 23 seconds is 143 seconds. And I don't need the decimal places. Same thing down here. I'm going to go ahead and say equals this, and I could do this. So I think 24 hours times 60 is 1440, right? And if I were to multiply that again times 60, so I could just multiply this by 86,400, but I think it's a little bit easy. I can never remember that. So I find it a little bit easier to just say, let's multiply it by 24 times 60 times 60. So I'll do the same thing, is equal to that times 24 times 60 times 60. And again, we'll format it. And the reason I've done two of them is it just allows it's an easy way now if I select these two, and now if I just double click on that box, it allows me to keep the format, the alternate banding all the way down. So this is not a formal Excel table. This is just data, but I've put it so that there's the color on the alternating rows. On the odd rows, it's blue. And I just want to be able to keep that down. It doesn't matter if it doesn't. And then, so right now it's sitting here as a formula. Once you've done this, normally what I do is I leave the first two in as a formula so that if I need them later on, if I want to get rid of the value, like that error, I'm going to go here and I'm going to do Control Shift down arrow. Okay, I'm going to copy, so Control C or Command C on a Mac, and I'm going to paste, but I'm going to paste values. And what that's going to do is this one still has the formula in it, but this one has 37 and this one has that error statement in it. And now what I can do is, on a PC, it's Control Find or Control F. I could also just go up to Find and Select and hit Find, and then what on a Mac it's replaces down here, on a PC replaces right here. And what I want to do is I just want to type in value, and it doesn't matter if I do it, if I match the case or not in this case. So I'm going to just say is equal to value exclamation point, and I want to replace that with blank. And if I did want to match it, there's this options thing which means match case, which means I would only want it if it had that V capitalized and then these other letters lowercase. And I'm just going to say I want to find value and replace with, I'm going to go ahead and shorten that, and I'm just going to hit replace all, and it's going to say, hey, we made 317 replacements. Okay. Now I'm also going to show one thing here, which is, let's say that I created a table. Let's say I created a table, a pivot table with this, and now I'm going to be going ahead and adding in now the time of the day of the week, and the week of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and hit underline there, and I think I'd misspelled. Yeah, there we go. Date column. Okay, so let's go ahead. So I'm going to insert a pivot table. And this one isn't going to matter, so but I'm going to go ahead and put let's put the department down here. Let's put the department here. Let's put the agent, and let's put the count of calls that we had. Okay, so I just want you. Actually, what we're gonna focus on are what fields are available to me over here. Okay, so now I go back to data. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add. So I say we want one for time of day, we want one for day of the week, and week of the year. And I'm actually going to put the week of the year first. Well, here's what we'll do. So notice here, this one is actually sitting in with that it's January 1st, 2016 at 9:12 a.m. Okay, and so really what that's going to do is, remember that the way Excel calculates dates are the numbers of days since January 1st, 1900. And then what it'll do, if I go ahead and put this in as a number, is the 42,370 says this is 42,370 days since January 1st, 1900. And then this 0.384, that is actually everything to the right of the decimal is actually the fraction of the day. And so 0.384 times 24 hours in a day is what's going to be the 9:12 a.m., right? So I think this is 9:12 and 58 seconds. So so everything to the right of that, and so everything is embedded in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just right click on B as in Bravo and say copy, and then I'm going to right click here and say insert copied cells, and this one I'm going to call time. And literally all I want to do is, this one is formatted to only show the date, and this one I'm going to format to show the time. So I'm going to do Control Shift down arrow. I'm going to click this drop down, and I'm going to go to time. Make that a little bit wider. Okay. And if I had wanted to, I could have also done it by right clicking in here. So let me go ahead and undo it so that it shows like that. I could right click in here, format cells, and I would just go to this time, and that's the default, right? So I could go down here, Control Shift down arrow. Again, I'm just going to do time, and so now I've got that this is my time. Okay. So now we've got the date, the time, and now I say the day of the week and the week of the year. I'm actually going to I'm going to do insert here. I'm going to put this as week number, which is the week of the year. And then over here, I'm going to put the day of the week. Okay, I'm going to do the day of the week first because it'll make seeing the week of the year easier. Day of the week, so this is just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What we're going to do here is, so January 1st, 2016 was a Friday. So I'm going to say is equal to, so the function we are going to use, as I mentioned over here, is just this week number. Or sorry, we're going to use is the text and DDD. And we're going to do 4 Ds. And So to put the day of the week in, we're going to use this formula called text, and I've got down here the different codes that you can put in. We're going to end up putting DDDD, so the 4Ds right here with Monday. If I were to put 3Ds, it would be Mon. If it had DD, so this says, hey, if it were January 9th, 2012, if you put DD, it would put 09 for the 9th, and D would be the 9. Same thing, if I wanted the month of it, I could do 3 M's for the 3-letter abbreviation and 4 M's for the full month. So I could put, for example, here, I'm going to say is equal to text, okay, and I'm going to point it to B2. So that's the value. And then the way we want to format it is I'm going to put it in quotes. I'm going to put, so if I put 3Ds, it's going to say fry, like FRI for Friday. And if I put 4Ds, now it's going to put the full day. Okay. So we've just literally done this one right here. Okay. And then down here, I'll do it again. So it's equal to text B3, comma, quote, 4Ds in a row. Okay, and then, okay, so once I have it in 2 of these, now I can use my same little trick and select both of those, double click on down, and now it looks like it's all Friday, but if I keep going down, then see, now it's Saturday, now it's Sunday, and so on. Okay, then for the next one, what we want to do is count the week number. Which week is it? And I'm going to show you over here. These are kind of two kind of cruddy looking calendars, but they illustrate my point, which is what we want to do. So a lot of calendars, as I mentioned down here, most of them, like my handwritten calendar or a lot of them on the Google Calendar, for example, starts with Sunday as the first day of the week. And then, but most people think about it as the work week begins on Monday, and Saturday and Sunday are the end of the week, right? The weekend. And so the way we want to do it is, so this one has week 1 starting with January 4th, because so in Europe, the way they count the weeks of the year is wherever the first Thursday is of the year, that is week 1. And since the first Thursday in 2016 was January 7th, they're going to count that. And so that meant that 2015 had 53 weeks. It had, these last 3 days. We want to count it so that January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are week 1. The 4th through the 10th is week 2. The 11th through the 17th is week 3. And like this one is week 4, and so on. And so what we're going to do, the way we do that here is we're going to do this week number B2 and then 2, and I'll show you that here. So I say is equal to week number or WEEKNUM, and I'm going to do January 1st, and then it's going to say, so 1 means do you want the week to start on a Sunday, and 2 means do you want it to start on a Monday. And then this 2-1 down here means that you do it the European way. So that means that the first Thursday of the year is week 1. But what we want is this one that says Monday right here. The week begins on Monday and it's system 1. Okay. So this should be, and then we need to format it as a number. Okay, so that's week 1. Same thing down here is equal to week number. I'm going to point it here, comma, 2. I could have just typed in a 2. And again, I want the format to be, okay, now I'm just going to double click on that square. And it's going to look like here, hey, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we want, I'll go ahead and drag, we want that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday to be week 1. And then when it goes down to Monday, January 4th, we want that to begin over with the next week. So I've got Friday, Saturday, okay, here's Sunday. And then what we should see here is that when we get to January 4th, which was the Monday, that's week 2, and week 2 should continue Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that when I get down here, that new week, the 11th, begins the 3rd week of the month. And the reason we want that is it makes it easier for if we want to do slicers for each week. So if I wanted to look at the call volume for each week, then I could do that. So now I've got the date, the time of day, the day of the week, and the week number. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert one pivot chart or pivot table because I want to show you how to work with the time of day calculation. So I'm going to go ahead. Now notice the other thing I want to show you here is none of these new columns that we've inserted will show up over here. And in fact, if I go ahead and now insert a new pivot table, notice those aren't here either. And that's because I've already created a pivot table with that sort of data table. And so when we created this very first one, Excel created a snapshot. It calls it the cache, C-A-C-H-E, but it took a snapshot of the data at that time, and that's what makes it so fast. We've now updated the data, and so in order to be able to make it work, what I need to do is now say, I'm going to say refresh, and watch what happens over here. So I'm going to say refresh, and it's now added the time, the week number, the day of week, and it will have also added it over here. Okay, so any tables based on this same underlying table will not be updated until I hit that refresh button. Okay, and but all of them will once I hit refresh. And then refresh all means, hey, if you were pulling from different data tables or external sources. Okay, so now I can pull in. I'm going to go ahead and let's put day of the week on columns, and we'll put the caller ID here for count, or I could have put call duration or satisfaction rating or something like that. Okay, and now I'm going to throw down, now I'm going to put, I'll put week number here as a filter. Okay, now I'm going to throw down or pull down time into the rows. And notice here what it did is it pulled in days, hours, minutes, and time. So it's got a, if I click on here and I have a group field, you'll see, hey, it said seconds, minutes, hours, and days. And really all I want are hours. So I can slide off, time means the fraction of a second, or a second, or, okay. I don't need the days. Okay, right now I've got hours and minutes. And I just want to show you the differences here. Hours and minutes means I could actually drill down, and I can see that I had 4 calls came in between 9:00 and 9:01, or 8 calls actually. 4 on this day, 2 and 2. I had 2 calls come in between 9:01 and 9:02, 6 calls come in between 9:02 and 9:03, and so on. I don't need that level of detail, okay, but I can expand this out. And so right now I could leave it like this, but I'm going to recommend that we take out the minutes, and so it will just have the hours. Okay, you'll notice they're still down here, so if I wanted to add them back, I could. I could add the days. I could. Okay, and the same thing if I were to now, I've pulled everything off. If I were to go back up and drag time down, it will have dragged all 4 down here. So I can just pull all of these off. Okay, and so this is telling me that I had 216 calls that week between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., like 9 to 9:59. I had 172 between 10 a.m. and 11, and so on. And I only had 10 between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., or 6:59 p.m. The other thing I'm going to do, and this is just a personal preference, is because we sort of said, hey, we're going to make Monday the start of the work week here, I'm going to take this Sunday and drag it all the way to the end. Okay, and then so that way I've got Monday and I've got Saturday and Sunday here at the end. The only reason that matters is, let me go ahead and insert a slicer with week number. And now the number here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to be hidden behind this button. So if you want to see what week it is, you can put in here, I could say is equal to this. Kind of like the same trick we used on one of the earlier dashboards. So now if I say, I'm going to only hit 3, so now it's 3, or I could say is equal to, I could concatenate, or I could say is equal to, I'm just actually going to say concatenate. So I'm going to say it's equal to concatenate, and I'm going to put in quotes. I'm going to say week space, comma, and then I'm going to point it to B1. And so now if I do any weeks, it'll show me. Now, you'll notice here, hey, week 1 only has Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's because back in our data, week 1 only has Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's only January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The rest of them have a full week. Okay. So that way I have, okay, and if I want to be able to select more than 1 week, I could, but right now I'm just going to do it as 1. Okay, so that is going to give me all of the weeks. If you wanted to change these blanks to zeros, so let me do one that has several of them. Okay, so all of these are blanks. Then what I do is while I'm selected here in the pivot table, I'm going to go up here to Analyze and Options. Okay, and it's going to say for empty rows, show, what do you want me to show? Right now it's saying blank. If you wanted it to show zeros, I can have it show zeros. Okay, and if I say, yeah, I don't want that, I'm gonna leave it blank, then I just go back. So again, I'm on these pivot table options, layout and format, and I'm gonna have, now it'll show up as blank. Okay, so I wanted to show that, so I have walked through each of these. Good luck with your charts and your dashboard, and I will talk with you soon.